The mysterious photograph of what appears to be a massive ship inside a lunar crater has sparked intense debate among researchers, space enthusiasts, and those who believe that we are not being told the full truth about the moon. This image, allegedly taken by an astronaut during one of the Apollo missions, has led many to speculate that the real reason we have not returned to the moon is due to extraterrestrial activity or the discovery of something so profound that it has been kept secret for decades. The photograph in question shows an enormous, shadowy object that appears to be nestled deep within a lunar crater. Unlike the surrounding barren lunar landscape, this object has angular lines, distinct structural features, and an artificial appearance that sets it apart from the natural rock formations of the moon. The size of the object is staggering, with measurements taken by independent researchers estimating it to be over 6 miles long. The image suggests that the object has been there for an extensive period, possibly covered in lunar dust and debris, giving the impression that it has been abandoned for thousands, if not millions, of years. As researchers continue to analyze the mysterious photograph of the alleged massive ship inside the lunar crater, many have pointed out a disturbing anomaly. The object appears to have been blurred out or intentionally obscured. This revelation has fueled further speculation that NASA or another agency may have deliberately altered the image to conceal the true nature of what was captured. Upon closer inspection, the area surrounding the object appears to have an unnatural smudging effect, which is inconsistent with the sharp details found elsewhere in the image. Many believe that this is clear evidence of digital manipulation, a tactic allegedly used in the past to edit out sensitive information from public records. Some have even compared this photograph to other declassified images, noting striking similarities in the way certain objects appear to have been airbrushed, blurred, or censored. If the object was simply a natural rock formation, there would be no need to alter the image in any way. The fact that the supposed blurred region aligns perfectly with the mysterious structure suggests that there is something in the crater that NASA or another entity does not want the public to see. For many, this is further proof that the lunar mystery runs deeper than we have been led to believe. Despite the image gaining widespread attention, NASA has remained largely silent on the matter, fueling speculation that the space agency is deliberately suppressing information. Many amateur researchers have spent years combing through official NASA photographs, hoping to find evidence of artificial structures, unidentified craft, or other anomalies on the moon. Some claim to have found additional unexplained objects, further supporting the theory that there is more happening on the moon than what we are being told. This specific image was taken by the Apollo 15 mission, which was launched in 1971 with the primary goal of exploring the lunar surface and collecting geological samples. However, some researchers argue that Apollo 15 may have encountered something far more significant than just rocks and craters. They suggest that the true nature of the mission was never fully disclosed, and that NASA may have discovered evidence of extraterrestrial presence. The unusual structure in the crater, according to those who have analyzed the image, closely resembles a spacecraft or massive artificial installation, something that should not exist on the moon. Over the years, similar claims have emerged from other space missions. Researchers examining old NASA photographs have pointed to bizarre formations, unusual lights, and what appear to be artificial structures scattered across the moon's surface. Some believe that NASA has been editing out certain images, selectively removing evidence of extraterrestrial activity to keep the truth hidden from the public. They argue that the agency fears the global reaction that would come from revealing the presence of non-human technology on the moon. One of the most compelling aspects of this mystery is the continued insistence by independent researchers that these anomalies are being intentionally covered up. They claim that official NASA images often undergo airbrushing, modifications, and cropping before being released to the public. Some whistleblowers, including former NASA employees, have even suggested that certain classified images are never shown to the public at all. The question remains, what could be so shocking or dangerous that it warrants being hidden from the world? Critics argue that there is no solid proof to suggest that NASA is engaged in a cover-up, and the space agency itself has consistently denied such allegations. NASA maintains that any perceived anomalies in lunar photographs are the result of image compression, artifacts from digital processing, or simply natural geological formations. According to NASA, there is no evidence of extraterrestrial structures or any deliberate attempts to edit out unusual objects from official images. However, despite NASA's denial, independent researchers remain convinced that something is being concealed. They point to the mystery surrounding our sudden halt in lunar missions. After Apollo 17, no human has set foot on the moon. This, many argue, is highly suspicious, given the rapid advancements in technology and the fact that NASA had already mastered lunar landings. If humanity had the capability to travel to the moon over 50 years ago, why have we not built a permanent base or returned for further exploration? Some researchers believe the answer lies in the discovery of something NASA was not prepared to disclose. The theory that an advanced non-human presence exists on the moon is not new. Additionally, there are numerous reports from amateur astronomers who claim to have witnessed strange lights, unidentified flying objects, and unusual movements on the moon's surface. These unexplained observations continue to fuel the belief that the moon is not just a barren rock in space, but rather a location of significant interest to advanced civilizations. If the massive object inside the lunar crater is truly a spacecraft or an artificial structure, then the implications are profound. Such a discovery could rewrite history and force humanity to reconsider its place in the universe. It would confirm that intelligent life exists beyond Earth, and that our moon may be more than just a natural satellite. It could be an ancient outpost, a derelict alien craft, or even a base for extraterrestrial activity. As researchers continue to analyze old Apollo photographs, more anomalies are being discovered, raising even more questions. Whether or not NASA will ever publicly acknowledge these findings remains to be seen. The possibility of a secret lunar cover-up continues to intrigue and divide opinions, with some demanding full transparency, while others believe the truth will never be revealed. Until the day comes when humans return to the moon, these mysteries will persist, and the photograph of the alleged massive ship inside the crater will remain one of the most intriguing pieces of evidence that suggests we are not alone in the universe. Another category of mysterious lunar anomalies involves the appearance of unexplained lights on the moon's surface. These lights have been observed by both amateur astronomers and professional space agencies, often appearing as brief flashes or glowing spots that seem to move across the lunar terrain. One of the most well-documented occurrences of these lights was during the Apollo 11 mission, when astronauts reported seeing mysterious flashes on the lunar horizon as they orbited the moon. These lights, sometimes referred to as transient lunar phenomena, have been the subject of speculation for decades. Some suggest that they could be caused by volcanic activity, even though the moon is not known to be volcanically active. Others theorize that they might be the result of meteorite impacts, which could create brief flashes of light as they strike the lunar surface. However, the locations and patterns of these lights often do not match the expected results of such impacts. More speculative theories propose that these lights could be artificial in nature, perhaps the result of mining activities or even the operation of hidden bases on the moon. Some UFO researchers argue that these lights could be evidence of extraterrestrial craft either landing on or taking off from the moon, using advanced technology that produces these glowing effects. Despite numerous attempts to capture these lights in greater detail and to explain their origins, they remain one of the most enduring mysteries of lunar exploration. The fact that they have been observed repeatedly, yet unpredictably, adds to the intrigue, suggesting that there may be forces at work on the moon that are beyond our current understanding. The anomalies seen in moon photographs, whether they be structures, lights, or shadows, pose significant questions about our understanding of the moon and what may exist there. If even one of these anomalies were to be proven as evidence of something artificial or unnatural, it would fundamentally alter our view of the moon and our place in the universe. These anomalies challenge the assumption that the moon is a barren, unchanging world. They open the door to possibilities that range from ancient civilizations to active extraterrestrial operations. While such ideas are often dismissed by mainstream science, the persistence of these anomalies suggests that there is still much about the moon that we do not know. Alongside the well-documented achievements of lunar missions, there exists a less conventional but equally compelling narrative: the sightings of unidentified flying objects above the moon. For decades, credible observers, including astronauts, astronomers, and even space agencies, have reported mysterious objects and phenomena near the lunar surface that defy conventional explanations. These sightings suggest that the Moon may be a focal point for extraterrestrial activity, raising profound questions about our understanding of the universe. Reports of strange objects seen near the Moon are not a recent phenomenon. As early as the 19th century, astronomers using relatively primitive telescopes began recording unexplained lights, flashes, and moving objects in the lunar vicinity. For instance, in 1874, astronomers at the Royal Greenwich Observatory in England reported seeing what appeared to be a fleet of bright, moving lights crossing the lunar surface. These observations, while often dismissed at the time as optical illusions or misidentified natural phenomena, laid the groundwork for the modern UFO narrative surrounding the Moon. As technology advanced and humans began sending probes and astronauts to the Moon, the number of reported UFO sightings increased. During the Apollo missions in the 1960s and 1970s, several astronauts reported seeing unexplained objects in space and on the lunar surface. These accounts were often kept quiet or downplayed by NASA and other space agencies, but over time, they have become part of a broader discussion about the possibility of extraterrestrial presence near the Moon. One of the most famous instances of UFO sightings near the Moon occurred during the Apollo 11 mission, the first manned mission to land on the lunar surface. While en route to the Moon, astronauts Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin, and Michael Collins reported seeing a bright, flashing object that seemed to be following their spacecraft. Initially believing it to be part of the Saturn V rocket that had launched them into space, the astronauts soon realized that the object was too far away and moving in an irregular pattern, making it unlikely to be a piece of their own equipment. This sighting has since become one of the most well-documented and discussed UFO encounters in space exploration history. Perhaps the most intriguing account comes from the Apollo 16 astronauts, who reported seeing weird objects moving across the lunar horizon. These objects were described as glowing and moving at high speeds, characteristics that do not match any known natural or human-made objects on the Moon. In the decades since the Apollo missions, sightings of UFOs near the Moon have continued. With the advent of more advanced telescopes and satellite imaging, both amateur astronomers and space agencies have captured images and video footage of unexplained objects in the lunar vicinity. These include glowing orbs, cigar-shaped craft, and even formations that appear to move in deliberate, non-random patterns. NASA's Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter, which has been mapping the Moon since 2009, has captured images showing unexplained structures and shadows on the lunar surface that do not correspond to known geological features. Some researchers have suggested that these anomalies could be evidence of artificial structures or craft, possibly of extraterrestrial origin. While NASA has generally attributed these anomalies to natural features or image artifacts, the sheer number and consistency of such sightings have led many to believe that there is more to the story. The consistent reports of UFOs near the Moon, from both historical and modern sources, suggest that these phenomena are not mere figments of imagination or simple misidentifications. Instead, they point to the possibility that the Moon is a site of ongoing extraterrestrial activity, whether as a base, observation point, or something else entirely. The implications of such a possibility are profound. If UFOs on the Moon are indeed evidence of extraterrestrial technology, this would indicate that humanity is not alone in the universe and that advanced civilizations may have been observing or interacting with Earth for much longer than we realize. The Moon's proximity to Earth makes it an ideal location for such activity, providing a vantage point from which to monitor our planet and potentially influence events on Earth. Furthermore, the presence of UFOs on the Moon could also suggest that space agencies have been aware of extraterrestrial activity for decades but have chosen to keep this information from the public. This raises questions about the transparency of space exploration programs and the true extent of human knowledge about extraterrestrial life.